You're standing in front of a room. Your palms are sweating. Your heart is pounding like you're about to be chased. Nobody is chasing you. You're just giving a presentation. But your body doesn't know that. Your body thinks something else is happening. Something much older, much stranger, and far more dangerous than a slideshow. For most of human history, being watched by a group of strangers meant one thing. You were being evaluated. And if you failed that evaluation, you didn't just feel embarrassed. You could die. Think about that for a second. Right now, when you imagine speaking in public, your amygdala fires the same way it would if a predator stepped out of the trees. Your throat tightens. Your hands shake. Your mind goes blank. This isn't nerves. This is ancient machinery, running a program written hundreds of thousands of years ago. Back then, humans didn't survive alone. A person cast out of the group in the Pleistocene had almost no chance of survival. No weapons strong enough, no shelter safe enough, no way to hunt large animals solo, night after night, season after season. Belonging wasn't a nice feeling. It was oxygen. So the brain built a warning system, a system whose entire job was to detect the moment you might be losing your place in the group and to make that moment feel unbearable, so you'd never risk it twice. That system is still installed in you today. The psychologist Leon Festinger studied something related to this in the 1950s, when he examined how people behave inside group settings and how heavily they weigh the opinions of others around them. His work helps show that humans don't just care what the group thinks. They use the group to figure out what's real, what's safe, and what's true. If the group turns on you on some level, your brain registers it as a threat to your grip on reality itself. Now picture a stage. 20 faces looking at you. Neutral expressions, maybe a little bored, maybe checking their phones. To your conscious mind, this is mildly uncomfortable. To your ancient nervous system, 20 pairs of eyes locked on you is a scene that used to mean exactly one thing. You had been noticed by the group, and the group was deciding something about you. Deciding whether you still belonged. Deciding whether you were still useful, still trustworthy, still safe to be near. And in a small band of 30 or 40 people, where every relationship mattered for survival, that decision could end with you alone in the dark, outside the fire, exposed to whatever was waiting in the tall grass. This is why your body responds to public speaking as if it were an actual physical threat, instead of what it actually is. Words in a room. Neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky has spent decades studying stress in primates, and one of his central findings is strikingly simple. For social animals, especially humans, social threats activate the exact same stress response as physical ones. Losing status, being humiliated, being excluded. Your body cannot tell the difference between a lion and a bad performance review. So when you step up to speak and your voice cracks and your mind goes blank, you're not failing. You're experiencing a system working exactly as designed. A system meant to keep prehistoric humans alive by making social rejection feel like near death. The problem is the world changed, but the wiring didn't. You are no longer in a band of 40 people where one bad moment means exile. You live in a world of billions, where a single awkward presentation changes almost nothing. Nobody remembers your stumble in 6 months. Nobody is deciding whether to leave you outside the fire tonight, but your amygdala hasn't gotten that memo. Anthropologist Sarah Blaffer-Hrdy has written extensively about how deeply cooperative early humans needed to be to raise children and survive at all, describing a level of interdependence unlike almost any other primate. Humans are, in her words, an unusually cooperative species, one that literally could not have evolved without a hypersensitive radar for group approval. That radar is what's spiking when your hands shake behind a podium. Here's the strange part. The fear doesn't just show up when you're speaking, it shows up before. In the days leading up to a presentation, when you replay imagined scenarios in your head, when you rehearse every way it could go wrong. That's not anxiety malfunctioning. That's the same system that once helped your ancestors mentally rehearse escape routes, danger signs, and threats before they happened. Prediction was survival. Overthinking the future kept you alive in the past. Except now there's no predator to predict. Just a whiteboard and a clock ticking down to your turn. So what do you do with a fear this old? You don't get rid of it. You can't. It's not a bug you can patch out. It's a feature, thousands of generations deep, doing exactly the job it was built to do. But you can understand it. The next time your chest tightens before you speak, you're not weak. You're not broken. You are running the same alarm system that kept a small band of humans alive on an open savanna. An alarm system so effective, it's still with every single person on Earth today. Your ancestors survived by fearing the group's judgment more than almost anything else. That fear kept them fed, kept them warm, kept them alive long enough to have you. So the next time you feel that fear crawling up your spine before you speak, remember what it actually is. It's not proof that something is wrong with you. It's proof that underneath the suit, underneath the slides, underneath the modern room full of modern faces, you are still exactly what you've always been. Someone whose ancestors survived by caring deeply about whether the group let them stay. You're not standing in front of a room. You're standing in front of everyone who ever mattered to your survival. No wonder your hands shake.